Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our team call. It's Thursday, November 20th. I'm really excited to see so many of you on. I'm really, really happy to be able to bring you Lauren Duke, who I have never really met in person, but I think this is pretty awesome that we're able to do it this way. So really quick, before I bring on our speaker, I just want to do just a little bit of recognition from this past week. So I want to congratulate Tara Demret, who got her diamond back, which popped Lorene back into one-star qualification. So good job, guys. Really proud of you. Eric, as you guys know, Demret, her husband, popped emerald last week. Sabrina Straub hit emerald this week. Good job. And Patty Ryan, one-star, official one-star today. So really good week. I'm really proud of you guys. Thank you, like I said, for making the call. So I want to share a little bit about Lauren. So just to tell a really quick story, because it actually is really quick. I was at our leadership conference in Arizona in September, and I was at the Three Vitals behavior training that I was certified in. And it was near the end of the training, and a coach, and I don't even know her name, to be honest, because I was so like, she came up to me and she's like, "Hi, what is your name?" I'm like, "Jane." And she goes, "Oh, forget it." I was like, "What? No. I thought you were someone else." And I was like, "Oh, it's all right." And she's like, "I'm sorry." I was like, "Well, can I just ask who you thought I was? Because I have been, someone thought I would look like someone else too." And she goes, "I thought you were Lauren Duke." And I went, "Really?" That's fine. Because she was embarrassed at that point. You could tell she felt awkward. I was like, "Seriously? You can think I'm Lauren all day long." So I was just laughing about it. I had never met Lauren. I just kind of knew, she was a top coach, blonde hair. I was like, okay, I guess so. So of course I look, and then we get home, and Jimmy tags us both in a post. And I think on his picture I said, "Hey Lauren, somebody thought I was you at leadership," and it just made my day. And that's kind of how we connected. So anyway, I obviously invited her to speak to you guys. And so thank you so much, Lauren, for taking the time. Guys, just a little bit about Lauren. She has only been a coach since June of 2012. Do the math on that. June of 2012. I signed up in April of 2012, so she's been a coach a shorter amount of time than me. She is a superstar diamond. That means that she has at least 15 diamonds, personally sponsored diamonds. She actually has 16 though. So she was a 2013 top 10 elite coach. She's a mom of two and a military wife, as some of you might have heard as we were kind of chatting about her husband trying to get his way home from Afghanistan. So she's going to just share with us a little bit about her story, because it's remarkable, that climb from coach to top 10 superstar coach in such a short period of time. And along that way, there are going to be amazing nuggets, because you just can't do that by winging it. There's some kind of system in place, and something that I know that you guys can take away. So please make sure you have something to write on, and you have your listening ears on. I'm taping it, so this is something we'll be able to watch again. So Lauren, again, thank you, and the floor is yours.
Wow, thank you, Shane. I want to know who it was who mistook you for me, or me for you, and I'm honored. I'm actually a little flabbergasted, because I just think you're gorgeous. And I remember being like, "Dang, that girl has great moves." We were walking through the crowd, doing our workout. So I'm glad we got connected, and I'm super happy to be on your team call. Shane asked me to talk about the climb. She asked me to talk about my story, and I get emotional. That's just me. And so be forewarned that there may be tears, and that's just who I am. So I'm not going to apologize for that. But if you don't know my story, and I will keep to your time limit. I assume it's 30 minutes.
Sure. Yeah, usually.
Okay. And if there are questions at the end, I'm totally open for that, because just me and my kids are with my husband, and I'm all taken care of, which is awesome.
You have your wine.
I have wine. I mean, husband wine. I'm good. I quit I was a coach. My coach is a sorority sister of mine who saw that I was doing Insanity and P90X and doing all these great results and sharing it on Facebook. And she was like, why are you not a coach? And I didn't even know what a coach was. I didn't even know there was such a thing. Sent me a couple of Shakeology samples, told me it was free for military. And I was like, sign me up. I don't know what the heck it is, but I'll be one. Just tell me what to do. It honestly was not the right time for me, and I do believe that timing is everything. And when my husband said I'm deploying, this was a previous deployment, I just said, I'm not doing this right now, and I quit. No hard feelings. My coach, Stephanie Richardson, she kept me on the page, which is probably the smartest thing she ever did. I'm just assuming. But she never removed me from the page. So I still got through updates and was still connected. So when Summit rolled around 9 months later, my husband had just come home. I didn't have a job anymore. We were supposed to move. And all of a sudden we were staying for another year. I'd already given up my job and they weren't going to take me back. They'd already hired somebody else to be the music teacher of my kid's school. And I was stuck. And my husband said, you're going to drive us nuts. Go to Starbucks. I don't care what you do, but you better find a dang job because you're going to drive us crazy if you don't have something to do. I'd already been asked to teach classes at the YMCA, so I had one class a week. And that was what I did. I went to the gym. I stayed messy all day. I ran errands. I took my kids to soccer, and that was our life. So when I saw people talking about Summit, I had an inkling of what it was, just because I remember them talking about it before. But I didn't understand what it was, like the meat of it, the heart of it. And so when people started talking about transformations, families restored, people leaving their jobs, I was just like, whoa, where are you? You know, I connected with some old college friends, and they said, you got to be here. The energy here is ridiculous. If you're not here, you need to get here. And for the first time in my life, it was kind of a light bulb moment. Like, I knew I was supposed to be there. I knew it was fitness. I had a desire to be around people who were like-minded and passionate. And so I did. I signed up on Thursday. I packed the car on Friday. My husband got home from work early. I got in the car and I drove across the desert. I started at 5 and I got there at 11. It was ridiculous. I didn't know that half of California went to Vegas on a Friday night. Surprise! So the next 12 hours, when people ask me to explain it, it's hard because I don't quite remember. I just remember my mouth being opened and crying. That's all I remember. I remember putting on a sparkly dress and working out with ridiculous amount of people in a parking lot in the Tropicana and seeing people like excited about fitness and being like, what the heck is going on? I just remember being blown away. So then seeing Richard Neal win, you know, the top challenger and seeing everyone so emotional about a physical transformation and about someone impacting their life so drastically, I just remember looking around and being like, these people are legit. This is not what I thought it was. This isn't just pushing a product. This isn't just selling something. These are serious changes happening. I remember Scotty Hobbs coming out on stage and saying he had just put in notice for his job. And I was just like, whoa, here's a dad of 4, like quitting his job to do this. And I still didn't fathom how much of an impact it could have. Like for me, I just saw rank and I saw shiny things and I saw people working out. I was like, woo! So I left Summit and I was told you get to Emerald. So I did. On the drive back across country to take my kids to camp, I got Emerald. I had like 5 days left of the month. I hit Success Club at the same time. So there's month 1. Month 2, I sat down and I literally did 3 vital behaviors. I pulled out a notebook and I'm surrounded by spiral notebooks because that's just the way I work. And look, I have a little one right here talking about what I want to talk about. I wrote down 2 pages front and back, people who would ask me, how do I start running? How do I look like you? How do I get fit? How do I learn blah, 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 blah. And the names just started coming. And so I just made lists and lists and lists. And then what did I do? I started personally messaging them. I didn't blast Facebook. I said, hey, Erica, I know it's been a while. How are you? How are the boys? How is Arizona? You know what? I'm starting this thing, and I really thought you came to mind. I am going to be doing a program and wanted to invite you. What do you think? That was it. I did 5 a day because that's what my coach told me to. And then after a couple of days, they started to get back to me, and I started to have more and more conversations and more and more. Then I saw somebody on my team was inviting 10, and I went, oh, heck no, I'm going to invite 10. I'm kind of competitive. So I started to invite 10, and then it started to snowball. Looking back at our income, which wasn't the focus, my focus was a challenge group. My focus was fitness. My focus was reaching out and meeting as many people as I could. I didn't get that you could make an income. For all I knew, I was just going to get healthy and help people. I honestly didn't have any idea of the possibilities financially because I hadn't seen that. I'd seen the happy, the lives change. I'd seen all that. No one talked about income at Summit, right? So in the first week, $29. Second week, $100. Third week, $120. Third week, weeks 1 through 4, probably an average of $50 to $80, okay? The fifth week, $535, bam. I remember sitting down and opening up my laptop and crying because I got to tell my husband that I contributed to our family, that I was doing something that was impacting us, and I had no clue I had no clue I could do that. And so for him, it was a light bulb moment because he said, you just paid for both of our car payments. Like he could rationalize it, right? He could weigh it out. And that was a big deal for us at that time in our lives because we were living in California. Gas was $5 a gallon. My kids' school was 30 miles away. Their soccer was 40 minutes away. We lived in our car just because of the distance. And so we couldn't fill up our car all the time. We would $30. Okay, that'll get us to the next paycheck. Okay, I'm going to push that bill all the way to the very end of where I can do it just because we are maxed out on tuition. We are maxed out on everything else. So to be able to do that small thing, pay for our car payment, was actually so huge. So for me, that was a big deal. Someone said they got to Diamond in 78 days, and I said, I'm going to do it faster. I didn't know you could win a trip to Disney. I had no clue. Don't do everything the way I did it. If you learn anything from this call, it's know what you got to do. No, I think the reason that I did so well in the beginning was because I was just focused on passionately going forward and joyfully putting myself into something and having a mission. And being able to have those personal contacts and those conversations, those interactions, and building those relationships, it was fuel. I woke up every day, and I still do, excited about who I was going to have a conversation with. And even to this day, the income is a charity. It helps our family, but the heart of it is, hey, Leslie, how's your son? Remember, his tube surgery is in 2 weeks, right? Are you guys doing okay? Or his adenoids? It's having those personal conversations with people and knowing their kids and knowing their families and being able to interact that way. That builds not just customers, but lifelong friendships and relationships. So along the way, it wasn't easy. There have been bumps. There have been negative people. There have been everything that you all go through. Trust me, I've been through it. Hit Diamond, hit 1 star, all that stuff. Got my husband to Diamond, did all of that. And the first 6 months were pretty fun and crazy. And I got to go on a retreat, and I got to go, meet other coaches, and it was super amazing. And then I found out we were moving. Okay, we're moving, great. So the new year starts, and my team is at number 25 in the company, and I have people calling me that I've never heard of, asking me what my goals are. And I said, I don't know, 5 stars really scary. That would be my end of year goal. That's it. And that really was my goal last year. I have a dream board. It's still my screensaver, 5-star Diamond. And that is a reminder to me of how far you can go when you set goals and how far past them you can go when you just do the basics. So when the year started, my team was baby. I mean, think about it. I'd been a coach for 6 months. I was a 2-star qualifying diamond. That's it, in January. And people are asking me if I'm going for top 10. And I look at them like they have 3 eyes. What's that? What does that take? What does that mean? I don't understand that. So I didn't go for it. I just wanted to build my team. So that's what I did. I just focused on adding coaches, helping them, solidifying a strong base. So by the time I was a 2-star coach, I had, good Lord, 3 times the amount of coaches that I needed to be diamond. I had a lot of base. I had just built and built and built. And now it was about helping my coaches. So when I got to Summit, I was still just a 2-star coach. That's it. Summit 2013, I was a 2-star. And I was so excited because I got to go to the Star Diamonds, like reception-y thingy. And everything was new. I never experienced Summit before for like 24 hours, whoop-de-doo. But I got to be a part of it, and it was a whole new animal to me. I brought 2 coaches. I was so excited. I had 2 coaches with me at Summit. It was a huge deal for me because I was there by myself the year before. And it was overwhelming, and it was inspiring. And I don't even remember most of it just because it was so surreal just to be able to be on this journey and to know that I get to directly affect people's lives. At the end of the day, that's what we're here to do. And if you get lost in the shuffle of the politics and the rank advancements and the success club and all that stuff, you've lost a part, or at least I've lost my why. My why is purpose, and it took me a long time to find that and to connect with that word. I want to make a difference in people's lives. I want to have a purpose. I want to know that I'm here on this earth to do something more than just be. Yes, I'm a mom. Yes, I'm a wife. But more than that, I have a gift, and we all have a gift to do something more. And so it was finding that for me. And I found it now. And so I wake up excited, and sometimes I'm like, oh crap, I got to check the back office and see what's going on there. But it's part of the business, but it's also allowing me to reach out and help people and guide them and lead them. So still on my story, I know I can chat. At some point, and it was right after Summit, my leaders came to me, and I'll never forget this. Because my Star Diamond coach said, when are you going to admit that we're going for top 10? And I looked at her and I went, what do you mean? She goes, we're all doing it. Where are you? They were going for it. We had moved up every month from 25 to 17 to 15. By August of 2013, we were number 12. Just from doing the basics, not focusing on the numbers, but just sharing and just going after our own personal goals and celebrating each other. And so when we really decided to do it, when I decided to do it, we just jumped. You know, we jumped, we skipped over people. And it was exciting, and it was intimidating to be this nobody, to be this person nobody knew anything about, this quiet, brand new coach, and show up at leadership and people not know who I was. And very intimidating to be surrounded by people who you think are these rock stars in this business. And you know what? We're all rock stars. We all earn everything that we get to go to. You earn leadership, you rock that. You earned it. If you earn a spot at some event, you own that. You earned it. We're not rock stars. We're ordinary people. We're moms and dads, and we are, sisters, brothers, best friends, and we're just as shocked and in awe as the next person that we get to do this for a living. We get to. And that's what I love is even after hitting top 10, which was ridiculous, I get to show up at these events and I'm just me. You know, I shower maybe. No, I won't. No, I'm doing. You know, I'm just me. I'm a dork. I'm silly. I get really intimidated by large crowds, and I would rather sit in the back and just watch. And I've been forced to be in this position where people care what I say, which is scary and awesome. And I just feel like we're all these incredible people, and we all have a gift. And so where I had things to say to sum it up. I will say that having a supportive family was a really big deal for me. And I could have made a lot of excuses because we did move halfway through the year last year. Like literally packed up our car and we lived at the Signature Hotel for a week. We were the Clampetts. When you open the door, stuff fell out. And my kids lived at the Signature in the middle of the Daisy Parade, which, oh, I'm so sorry about that. And that was just our life. That didn't stop. My business didn't stop because we had this hiccup. We moved into this house that needed a lot of renovation. We had a flood. There was water coming through our kitchen. Keep working. No excuses. I wasn't going to let one little thing stop my business because life happens. You know, my daughter really had a hard time adjusting to this place, and we had to really focus on her. And that was hard, but I still had a goal, and I still had a business. And as a family, we got through that. And my husband found out when we lived here for 4 months, he was deploying again. That was not the plan. That was not what we were promised. You rally, you roll with it, because there's no roadmap to life. There's no guidebook. So there was no way I was going to stop doing what I'd set out to do. And seriously, he was supposed to deploy 3 different dates this year. And when he finally left, we just kept motoring on. Yeah, my team has consistently stayed in the top 20, but the goal this year wasn't top 10. It was to grow my team, and it was a whole different focus. Honestly, just to survive was the focus this year, because knowing Chris was going to be gone. He missed everything. He missed the cruise. He missed Summit. He missed Italy. He missed everything, and I tried to make the most of it and provide amazing experiences for my kids. You roll with it. You shift. You make it happen, but you never stop and feel sorry for yourself because, golly, there's so many people in this world who need us to be strong, and so we can pour out on others. So you have to find the time, and you have to find that energy somewhere. I knew that showing up every day, even in the good, even in the bad, was what you had to do. And it's kind of like when you talk about your workout. I don't want to work out today. Just do the first 5 minutes. I bet you won't press stop. You can just get through the first 5 minutes. You'll complete it. Same thing with this. There are mornings when you could probably press the snooze button or not check in with your coaches or just blow off those challenge groups. Wow. Once you get into that, you get a message from someone who is now having to go buy new jeans. Or you get just a happy note from someone saying, because of you, my life has changed. And you remember how important it is to just show up. Because if you hadn't shown up that one day, they wouldn't have seen that post. If you hadn't posted on the day you felt like crap, you wouldn't have changed that person's life. And there have been so many stories like that where, gosh, I can't even remember what day I said that. But was it a day when I wanted to be there or when I didn't? And I just did it anyway. I have to find the good. I have to do my personal development, be filled up, and then share with other people who need to hear what we have to say. And then the other thing I wanted to say, and yeah, it's 8:28, and I really could talk forever. With my leaders and with my team, we all rallied together at the beginning of this year. We all understood that growth is not a singular thing. We are a team. And so I had a talk with them and I said, here's my thought. I've been challenged, which I had, to get to 15-star. It wasn't my goal. I didn't really have a goal at the beginning of the year. I was kind of tired. And somebody said, I bet you can get to 15-star by Summit. And I was like, it's not my goal. But what I did was I stopped and I looked around at my leaders who were still growing. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to let you guys fly. So if this is what you want to do, let's do it together. And we started a group together. We already had 7 diamonds, 8 got to diamond within a month of each other. And it was ridiculous. And the fuel from that was incredible. But it took a team effort. It wasn't me. It wasn't one person driving it. It was everyone feeding off one another. And so we're kind of getting back into that. You know, you can get burnout really quickly when you push for something so quickly. And it has happened. And it's forced me to learn and grow and take steps and kind of backtrack and learn what I didn't learn along the way. And now I'm trying to just be a good leader. I'm trying to give everybody the opportunity to shine. And I'm listening to people and their individual goals. And not everyone wants to be an elite coach. Not everyone wants to be top 10. And that's awesome, because I'm not going to set your goals for you. But what I do want is whatever your goals are, I want to give you the wings to fly. And I'll be there cheering you on and making sure that I push you off that ledge or that I catch you, whichever one it is. So that's kind of the conversation that's happening on our team right now. After an incredible retreat, after being renewed and refreshed, everyone is excited and has a new passion and fire for their businesses. And that's what I want. Everyone individually to go after their goals, because as a team, that just strengthens us. And so that's just kind of where we are. It's interesting to see the progression of this business. And I know everyone's journey is different, and that's what I love. Why did I grow so quickly? Not quite sure. Why does someone else take 3-4 years to get to where I am right now? I don't know. Is someone a better coach than another? No. Is someone stronger than another? No. Life is crazy like that. But I now reach out to other leaders and say, share, teach me. I want to learn from you. What did you learn through that? People come to me for the same reason. And I just feel like we have such a large pool of incredible information from which to dip. And Beachbody in and of itself is a crazy name, and I wish we would rename it. But because when you're out at a friend's house and she goes, "Hey, you're that beach lady," I'm like, yes, that's me. We're more than that, you know, and you know what it's like to be at live events, that just ridiculous energy that comes from being around like-minded people who are passionate about helping others. And so something I say to my coaches all the time, and I'll end with this, Shane. They think that it's all about the finish. It's all about the end. It's all about the journey. It's about the roadblocks that you move out of your own way. It's about the detour you take. It's about forging through a path that seemed impassable. It's about the journey. It's about the climb. And Miley Cyrus, she totally sang the song, and I don't love her, but the words are great. The words to that song are awesome, because this life, this journey, this business is about the climb. It's about what you learn as you rise. It's about, falling and stumbling and getting back up. And it's about having someone else, a team behind you, with you, in front of you, around you, to lift you up. And I use that a lot with my team, because it's not the Lauren show. Not at all. I wish everybody got the recognition. I do. But it is a team effort, and I now want my team, I want to hear their name on the wake-up call. I want to see their name in lights. I want to see them at elite events, because I'm freaking tired of being the only one. And I told them that. I'm like, I'm ready for you to join me anytime you're ready. So that's kind of the focus that we have going right now on Thrive, is it's your time to shine. I've had mine. Now it's yours. So, and I really feel like any new coach, any coach who's been in this business for a while, there is no timeline. There's no you have to hit this by this. You have to do this by this. it's all about your own journey and what you learn and who you impact and whose life you touch.
Thank you. Wow. So just a couple of things that I heard. We all know we're in relational marketing, but I think we do get stuck on all of the requirements that we need. And I think what I'm hearing is that you hit those requirements when you build relationships. It's a natural flow, a progression. It just happens. Not to think about the number two. It's to think about that relationship with the person that you're speaking to, their why, their reason. When you hit that and spend that time, the two happens. You don't have to focus on it. And the other thing is the inviting. I think you can build relationships all day, but you had mentioned you were inviting 2 people a day and then 5 people a day, and someone was doing 10. If we're building these beautiful relationships and not inviting, we're also not moving. And so when you put those 2 things together, I think you have the perfect formula. And Lauren, you may not know how you grew that fast, but I'm pretty sure that's how. Building those unbelievable relationships and then inviting people. And that's how this works.
Yeah. I also had to get out of my own way. I glossed over one area. I grew up with an eating disorder, and I had to just push that aside as that dark and ugly and icky part of me that nobody wanted to know about. But it really defines me a lot, because it's a lot of the reason why I started working out for the wrong reasons, and why my diet was so horrible, and why I just became emaciated and really hurt my body. I had to learn to be healthy, and when I put that out there, it was more of a cleansing for me. It was more of an admittance of I'm not perfect. What you see is not the me. I want you to see the whole me. And it was probably 6 months into my business, and I just had this epiphany that I was supposed to share this. And the response from that was insane. And it actually broke down a lot of walls for me and allowed me to be more open with people, because I felt like I was just being surfacey. I was just inviting, but I wasn't letting people see the real me. And I didn't want to be fake, and I didn't want to be a phony. I wanted people to know, you might see one thing, but you don't know the whole story. I was the fat kid growing up. I was obese. So then I went to the opposite end of the spectrum, completely, eating disorder in the clinic, all that stuff. Now I found the healthy me, and it's been a long journey. So don't assume you know everything about everybody until you get to know them. And don't assume that you get their story when you haven't had a chance to chat with them. But you're right, Shane. It wasn't just, hey, let's be buddy-buddy. It was, I invited the fool out of people. And I have coaches who don't understand why they're not moving. They are such people. They want to have chats all day long, but then they forget to invite. And I'm like, whoa. She's like, oh, yeah, I forgot to invite her. But I know everything about her. I'm like, yeah, you're awesome. Just, you forgot. She's like, we didn't ever even talk about a challenge group. We're going to have lunch next week. And I'm like, what the? So, just so funny. You have to consciously think about that. And it's practice.
Right. And two other things. So yeah, sharing your story. We talk about that all the time. What is it about you? What's your brand? This whole struggle with Facebook like pages. People have such a hard time, coaches have such a hard time about what that should look like. And it's most likely about not really knowing their why yet and not knowing enough about themselves. What should it be? And I think we have to really tackle that and brand ourselves. And what is it about us? What is it that people can relate to? Because you can put up there all day long everything that's good. The minute you share a real struggle, that's when the walls come down and people are actually like, wow.
Yeah.
So that's great advice. Also, life happens. Oh my gosh. So a flood, moving across country, living in a hotel. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to touch that. But you're right, just showing up no matter what's happening. And it doesn't mean showing up to be the tip top self, showing up to say, wow, things are really tough right now.
Life sucks right now.
But I'm here, and I'm here for you, my coaches, even if it's only one coach, even if you're an Emerald and you have your spouse and you're their coach, your coach needs you. Your coach is there looking to you. They signed on for you, not for me, not for somebody else. They signed on for you. So showing up every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and one last thing, and then we'll open it up to questions. Just because, shame on me, and you taught me something. You mentioned, my team was shooting for top 10 and my team was 20. I don't know if my team knows we're in the top 100. Does anyone on this call know that you are in the top 100 of the company?
That's
Raise your hand if you knew that, because we are, guys, just so you know. And I will update you on Friday when I get a new email, but I believe we are ranked 95 in the company.
Yay.
And that's you.
And that's like out of 250,000 coaches, So that's legit. That's ridiculous.
226,000 coaches. We are 95.
Yeah. You're not slackers.
Crazy.
Let's just say, yeah.
It's crazy. So, all right. So let's open it up to any questions. I'm going to unmute. Actually, I think you guys can unmute yourselves, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you, if you want to ask a question, just unmute yourself.
There is a question from Tamara.
Yes. I have a question. I'll verbalize it because I'm so much better talking than typing. But so, Lauren, I just listening to your story, like, first of all, thank you for what you and your husband have done for all of us that have been on this call. And it makes me just be teary-eyed. But what you've dealt with in having small kids and having your husband gone and, moving and living in a hotel, I think every single one of us on this call have things that we're going through in our lives now or that we've gone through before and have just been super duper tough. And, some of us work full time in addition to this being our job. How do you help your team? I mean, first you, but then your team. How do you have that compassion to what's going on with them, but still push them to say, okay, I hear you and you're struggling with that, but let's go. We've got to move.
I'm going through the Rolodex of my coaches right now because I actually had a coach today who she really went through a lot of things like postpartum depression after her daughter, and I didn't get it. All of a sudden she checked out. Where's my friend? Where's my coach? Person I talk to all the time. What's going on? She was really struggling and she didn't know how to verbalize it. She didn't know how to share. And I just messaged her, not expecting anything. I just messaged her to let her know when she's ready. I'm here. Her team is here. Does she need any help with anything? And just that compassion. I'm the mom that if my kid falls down and his leg is split open and bleeding, I'm like, you're fine. You're fine. I'll get you a Band-Aid. But for some reason with my team, I get it. I try really hard to be compassionate to a point. Because at some point when you've had the same excuse for 6 months, that's when I go, okay, that's when the tough love side of me comes out. And I had a coach today say, I think I need to start over again. Could you match me with a Diamond coach as a Success Club partner? And I went, no. If you're starting over with the basics. You're going to go back through the coach basics and you're going to start over. I'm not going to match you with someone who's already running. That's not fair to them. It's not fair to you. They're working. They're showing up every day. You're not. So if you want to own this, own it. And at some point, you have to know your coaches too. She was a type of coach who said, I need you to snatch my hair back. And I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I am not a tough love kind of person, but if that's what she needs, I have to put that hat on and say, this is crap. What you're doing is crap. And you shared your goals with me. I've given you everything I can to achieve those goals, and you are the one standing in your own way. And I have to have faith that if this is right for her, she's going to stay. And if not, you have to let him go. And it's hard to say, but, I'm looking at all of my messages on the left-hand side here from my coaches, and they're coming to mind. Everyone has had stuff. no one has a smooth ride. And some of them do have full-time jobs and babies and kids, and you just have to let them know, I'm going to help you work this business the way you need to work it. Let's strategize. If you need to do the power hour and that's the way you work your business, you can have a very successful business doing that once a day. Or if you know for a fact that you can only work Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, then let's make that time really important. And so you can be off the other days. Let's maximize that time and come up with a strategy. And so it's really listening to them and their needs and figuring out how to make the time that they do have really impactful. And not focus on fluff, like really get down to what they need to do to grow their business. And, a lot of them have skyrocketed and even been able to leave their full-time jobs because of that, because they spent this much time doing things really smart and really well so they can have this much time at home with their kids. And I hope that answered your question.
Thank you.
Yeah. Constance has an awesome name.
Anybody else have a question? You can just unmute yourself. There's a little mute bottom left. There's a microphone. Just click it. And chat if for some reason you can't unmute yourself. Okay. All right. Well, Lauren, I'm every once in a while I'm gonna message you.
Love it.
With my little questions, a little insight that I need. I'm thinking of one right now, but I'll do that off air. So anyway, thank you for your time and for your story, and I'm so glad your husband's home. And again, thank you and him for his service. It's been very helpful. I hope you guys all took a lot from this. Lauren, we'll talk to you soon, and everybody, you have a good night.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.